Hi folks, welcome back to the latest vlog. It's a new year. Happy New Year to you all. We're back on the bank. I think this is my second session this year. And what better way to start off but with a nice carp. Nice murr, I'm sure about 7-8 pound, somewhere in around that. Rod's only been out half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. So we're not blanking. Let's slip this boy straight back. There he goes. Well, that was a nice way to start the session. So it was. So, as I say, Happy New Year to you all. It's hard to believe we're in 2020 already. It's unreal where the time goes. But what have we been doing? We've just been bits and pieces around the fishery. Tidying up wee bits and pieces, cleaning swims, power hosing platforms, that sort of thing, just keeping on top of everything. We have a busy period coming up now. We net the fishery in 2 weeks time, which is really exciting and looking forward to that. The fish have done exceptionally well this year, so we're looking forward to seeing that. I've done a couple of sessions. I've done 2 this year so far. The first session had a couple of fish, nice common, pushing double figures. Did a day last week. To be honest, it was an awful day. It was blowing a gale. I sat over in peg 2, tucked in among the trees watching YouTube most of the day. But it didn't produce anything, but it was to be expected, to be honest. We also had a wee night session between Christmas and New Year with Raymond and Alan. It was a good night's crack. With a bit of a barbecue and just a bit of a social evening. Didn't produce any fish for any three of the three of us, but it was a good night's crack. I'll say nice for a wee break in between Christmas and New Year. But we're down for the night. Baby's up. Everything's sorted. Susie's got a new bed. Mainly for day sessions, to be honest, when I'm down. To give her somewhere to sleep in the bivvy when we're not using the bed chair, but she can lie up on top of that at the moment. Well, it's hard to believe it's January. 2 days ago the lake was froze solid. Froze on, this is Wednesday, froze on Saturday night into Sunday and stayed right through to Monday evening and the Tuesday morning before it actually disappeared. And as I say, a day and a half later and I'm standing here in a t-shirt with the sun shining and it's actually warm. It feels like spring, dare I say it, but unbelievable what difference it makes in a couple of days. No doubt that wee bit of sun has brought those fish on. That fish, we're on peg 8 this week. So I come in here because it's sort of central part of the lake. Gives me plenty of options. I can fish sort of, if there's nobody else here obviously, I can fish either side of the island. That fish actually came from basically here, in line with the picnic table on the far side where the old shed used to be, for anybody who knows the lake. This wee V here you can see in the shadows, and the V in the trees. That fish came from there. I saw this morning when I was down at the lake, walking around as normal, doing the rounds, I did see a little patch of fizz in there. And I was down a couple of hours later and saw a fish, something move. It looked only a small fish, to be honest, might even have been a rudder roach, but something topped in basically the same area. So I thought, well, that's the first port of call. The other rod is out to the island, just off the side of the ramp. For any of you that saw that little underwater video we did over Christmas, which was very interesting. As you know, the ramp comes down basically towards the next peg, which is peg 7. So I'm just to the left hand side of the island, just out this general direction, just at the bottom of it, sort of away from where the leaves were gathering, as we could see in the camera. But everything's set up. I'm going to get this rod back out again onto this spot. See, that one came in the boilies actually. What are we on this week? We're on the plum. Just plum boilies and a wee 18 mils and a wee PVA bag of 3 or 4. The other rods on our usual Z&A bulky malts. That's what produced the fish for me the last day I was down. The nice common. And a wee PVA bag of our pellet and maize as normal. And that one's just glugged in a little bit of Scopex glug. Don't know whether it makes much difference or not, but it's working so far. Let's say we'll go get this rod back out and we shall see what the rest of the afternoon produces, and we'll get a chat in a little while. evening's starting to draw in. Unfortunately, I just lost a fish off that rod at the end. But we brought the other one in now. I'm going to take a walk around and go on, close the chickens in and do what we need to do. And then back down for the evening, get the rods back out. A few fish showing around the lake in the last sort of half hour. There's an odd one. The moor hens obviously coming into roost. But no, it has been an odd fish showing here and there. Nothing massive, but an odd one rolling. A lot of silverfish rolling as well. Let's say other than that one take, that's been it so far. Again, that came in the milky malt that time. The last fish, that fish you saw earlier, was on the boilies. Come on, Susie. I'm gonna go around here as I say, and we're gonna sort the chickens out. We got some new chickens this week. Some wee bantams, another 5 to add to the collection. So I have to go and make sure that they've all went into where they're meant to be. It looks like it's going to be not too bad, and even it's starting to cloud over. The sun was out earlier, so it was lovely and warm this afternoon. I was sitting in a t-shirt most of the afternoon, sitting out in the sun, which is unreal in January. And considering, as I say, that the lake was froze 2 days ago, with temperatures of -5 and -6, it's crazy. It's no wonder the fishing's so slow at the moment and so up and down everywhere. Those sort of differences in temperatures, it sort of messes us up, never mind the fish. But it's looking good. So if that cloud cover comes over, the temperature will stay up. Susie's away chasing pigeons, and we shall hopefully get a few more before the evening's out. Just heading in here now to sort these chickens out. Susie can't come in. There's a rooster among the chickens, the new ones, and Susie's obsessed with it. Doesn't seem to think it should be here. Not right, Susie? We shall see if everybody's in. There we go, there's all the new ones we got. So there's 4 wee hens there. And then there's another one there. And Rocky the rooster is the wee black one up in the back, as you can see. But looks like they're all tucked in for the night. Oh, there, Susie. No skippies. Right, we'll get back around to the swim, get the rods out, and I'll chat to you in a bit. Well, no more fish so far. It's been very quiet, to be honest, when we come back down from earlier. When I say we closed those chickens in, finished up, locked up for the evening, back down, got the rods out, but we've had nothing more since. Not much showing either. But we just got some tea on. We're having spicy pork chops and salted chili and some little potato slices. Get these here wee packs and ladles. Sauteed potatoes. They come backpacked inside. Very handy to have. And generally you get a really good date on them. They're handy to have in the fridge if you're nipping down, heading out for a night. Obviously me just nipping down to the lake for an evening. They're handy to have, or you can cook on the bank, which is something I really enjoy. One thing that's hugely important if you are cooking in the bivvy, or if you're putting the stove on for a little bit of heat in the winter time, keep that door open. You want the door open, you want the airflow getting through the bivvy. No matter how cold it is, carbon monoxide can build up in your bivvy. It becomes very, very dangerous. As I say, with the gas. So it's something that's hugely important. If you're cooking, if you're putting your heater on, anything like that, always keep a bit of airflow through the bivvy. But as I say, hasn't been much else moving even around the lake that I've heard. I've got YouTube on. Want to watch some carpy stuff past the evening. Just in the wee tablet. I run that off my hotspot on my phone, off the mobile phone data. Some really good deals about nowadays on mobile phone data. on your contracts. You can get loads of data for next to nothing. I know I've seen some of the companies now, I think, are even doing unlimited data, which is very, very handy for whenever you're fishing, say especially in the winter time. These long winter nights, you're getting 13, 14 hours of darkness. It's handy to have something there to sort of pass the evening. But the pressure's been through the roof the last few days. It's been 10:46, I think, yesterday. Today it's dropped back a little bit to 10:38. I noticed to keep dropping towards the weekend, so actually the next couple of days will probably be better fishing than the drop in pressure. But tonight was nice and mild, and you got to be comfortable too. There's no point sitting there in freezing cold conditions when you don't have to. But we've had a fish. I'll say we lost that one too, unfortunately. That's the way it goes. That's fishing, and that's all that matters. We've had one. Fish is a bonus this time of year. I just enjoy being out in the bank. It's a big part of it for myself. But say we're netting here in 2 weeks' time, as I said earlier. I'm really looking forward to that. Fish have come on really well. That thinning out over the last few years has made a huge difference, and it will continue to do so. The fish are just absolutely thriving. You know, we've had fish went from 10, 11 pound to 14, 15 pound this year, and quite a lot of them. So the biggest come out this year so far was 15, and we've had lots of backup 12s, 13s, 14s. So it's really, really looking good. But I'm going to continue to cook this lot, and we shall see what the rest of the evening produces. Good morning, folks. Unfortunately, it's been a very uneventful night. Not even so much as a bleep. Did see a couple of fish show last night. Later on, it was 12:30, 1, towards the far side of the lake, right over in this back corner. Fish came up twice. But apart from that, that has been all I've seen. I've been up from daylight, broke, had a walk around, done the rounds as usual, but nothing to say. Haven't seen a thing all morning. Very misty, murky morning. You can see the dew from the mist all dripping off the trees. Pressure's dropping at least. It's back down to 10:30. Still very high, but it's a fall in pressure is generally what you want at this time of year. But we're on our usual rigs, as I was saying yesterday. Nothing complicated, just our little slip D rig that I always use, with the wee mulky malt wafter from DNA, and the other one's just on the same rig with the boilie, just 6 inches, and that's the Nash Armor Link. That's it, nice and simple, and we're just using that in conjunction with the wee PVA bag with the pellet and maze. So just a nice and simple. Say that's produced. Unfortunately, that was the fish we lost on that rig with the milky malt. The other one is exactly the same with the boilie, the plum boilies, and that's the fish we landed. So that's what we're using. I've got first cup of coffee of the morning. But say very, very, very quiet. There's something we got this week, was the TRAKKER bed chair cover. It's a waterproof cover. It just attaches on above your normal sleeping bag, as you can see underneath. Just the same way your sleeping bag would attach onto your bed chair, just across the bottom. And then you've got 2 little clips here at each side, for whatever side of the bed chair you're using. Susie seems to like it anyway, don't you, Susie? Do not disturb. It says fleece lined. Just adds that little layer the winter time. Obviously as well, no matter how many skins you have in your bivvy, you do get a little bit of condensation in the winter. That obviously would stop any drips from making your main sleeping bag damp. But it wasn't dear, 20-30 quid, something like that. And it say it adds another layer for the winter months, and even in the summertime that'll be very useful for sleeping under in the summertime, in the sort of warm summer evenings. You could just use that rather as a light layer rather than the main sleeping bag. But worth a look. So look at this coffee. But very quiet. See, that pressure is dropping. So it's back down at 10:30. Wants to continue to drop as the day goes on. So hopefully that might spur things on a little. I know bite time yesterday was well into the afternoon. I say we got those 2 fish within a sort of an hour of each other. So hopefully we'll get another little feeding spell this morning. But we shall see what happens. I'll chat to you in a bit. There's the first fish this morning. Maybe a small common, but this time of year they all count. We'll slip this one straight back. Back she goes. That one came off the island rod on the wee milky malt. So we'll get it back out again. See if we can't entice another. That's more like it. Obviously that's that one's big brother or big sister. Lovely common, lovely bronze colours on it for the time of year. Once again that rod was just chucked back out to the island, that milky malt, and it rattled off. We'll get a wee quick photo of this one. Let's see if we can't keep this feeding spell going. There's fish number 5 for this session. Can't be bad that in January. It's an hour double. That's 2 double figure commons we've had today. Let's slip this boy shit back. Back she goes. But that's a nice way to end the session. Just as we started with the carp. But say 24 hours, 5 fish. Obviously we lost that one yesterday evening too, so we can't be bad at that. All those fish came from the back of the island, bar that one last night that we took from this little area here, and again bar the one from here last night, the first fish. They've all come in them little dumbbells, them little milky malts, and just a wee PVA bag of maize. Again, just keep it simple is the way to do it. Nothing complicated. Don't give them too much, especially this time of year. Every day is different. Again, I've been casting that out and just leaving it. I haven't been recasting. I haven't been chopping and changing, trying different things. I'm confident in what I do. I think that's a big part of carp fishing. Confidence. If you're confident in what you're using, your rig, your setup, your bait, you definitely fish better, and you fish more effectively. So again, find something that works for you and stick with it. Obviously there is exceptions to the rule. You know, there are days when it's different. They do want something else. Maybe they want more grub, so on and so forth. Maybe you do need to cast about because you're not getting any indication. You're seeing fish in other areas. You maybe need to move, but generally, as I say, keep it simple is the way to go. But that's almost it. I say we're going to go and start packing down now. It's just coming at 4:30. It's it'll be dark in the next hour. So unless this rattles off in the next 20 minutes, half an hour. Thanks very much for watching, folks. With a new vlog coming out hopefully in a couple of weeks time again, with the netting of the lake. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be able to keep updated with all that. So that's happening in a couple of weeks time. So say subscribe, hit the wee bell, give us a video a wee like if you can. Thanks very much for watching.